Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. I'm going to kick off Warhammer Roleplay Week with a first look at Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Champions of Order from Cubicle 7 Games. This is written by Emmett Byrne, Alex Klippinger, Michael Duxbury, Cody Falk, Elaine Lithgow, Casey Shee, and Brian Yaksa. This 144-page hardcover is available now, carries an MSRP of $39.99, which includes the PDF if you order from Cubicle 7 or one of their partners, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Champions of Order. A couple of things to mention before we jump on in. First of all, my friends over at Cubicle 7 Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, it's important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the book, but I do want to give you a very good feel for what you're going to find inside this volume. So let's take a look at the back. Call forth the Champions of Order. Champions of Order gives players a wealth of new options for creating characters for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound and features new archetypes, new talents, and devastating new spells. It's packed with content and options to expand on your Soulbound game. And it talks about what's in the book, but we're going to take a peek inside. So let's just jump on in. That's pretty cool. I like that map. Pretty cool. Then we've got our credits page. Let's make sure we give credit where credit is due. Quite a few illustrators involved in the mix here. So as far as what this book contains, we're going to get a little bit of background. Then we're going to dive into new archetypes. So as far as I understand, this book is mainly player-facing. So as far as our new archetypes, we've got the Lumineth Realm Lords, Free Peoples, Daughters of Cain, Fire Slayers, Ideneth Deepkin, Caradan Overlords, Stormcast Eternals, Sylvaneth. Then we get into Talents and Miracles, Spells, Equipment. Looks like some downtime activities here. And then we'll wrap up with some appendices. So I do want to mention that Sammy Uhas handles our reviews for Age of Sigmar Soulbound. So I'm not overly familiar with this role-playing game. I do know that it is a heroic level role-playing game. So even when you have a beginning character, they are very, very powerful. But they're also taking on very powerful enemies like demons and chaos lords and things like that. Just a peek at the introduction here. Across the mortal realms, war rages on. Hordes of demons roam the wastelands, carving a bloody swath through anyone they encounter. The unquiet dead rise up from beneath the earth, dragging the living, screaming to their doom. Wild bands of orcs launch an endless assault on the beleaguered free cities, leaving nothing but destruction in their wake. The forces of order are pushed to the very brink. They cry out for champions to save them. So we're going to get a little bit of a breakdown on each of these new archetypes. So we get into the background about Soulbound. The player characters are the Soulbound. That's where the name comes from. So they are these great heroes who are trying to achieve even greater heroics. So it looks like we've got some tables here to provide you with random backgrounds depending on the archetype. Then we're going to get into our archetypes. So we're going to show our format. It's going to show our attributes, species, core skills, core talents, and equipment. From my understanding, Age of Sigmar Soulbound is relatively rules light. And I had to laugh because when I first asked Sammy to do the reviews for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound, she kind of hemmed and hawed and said, well, I don't really know much about Warhammer. And I said, well, to be honest, I know absolutely nothing about Age of Sigmar. So she said, okay, I'll give it a try. She thinks this is a rocking role-playing game. She likes it quite a bit. In fact, you should check out some of her reviews that she has shared. Just taking a peek through. So we've got the different free peoples from the various different bastions of order that are left standing. Then we have the Daughters of Cain. Born of an obscure cult in the age of myth, the Daughters of Cain have carved an empire all their own from the blood and destruction of their enemies. Worshippers of the ancient elven god of battle and bloodshed, the Daughters of Cain remained hidden for ages in Ulgu, the realm of shadows, biding their time until the tutelage of Morathi, High Oracle of Cain. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Because you know me, I mispronounce real words. So, of course, I utterly butcher fictional people, places, and things. So here are the Fire Slayers. So they are dauntless warriors dedicated to the fallen god Grimnir. The Fire Slayers wander the mortal realms, be it in their fired armies or as lone slayers in search of precious Urgold, the fettered remains of their shattered god. I wonder if these are dwarven. Sounds like they might be. In fact, I believe so. The Ideneth Deepkin are isolationists by name and nature, burying enclaves beneath the sea at depths the light cannot penetrate. Since adopting the elven word for extreme seclusion, the Ideneth have been disinclined to return to the surface. But without a constant supply of stolen souls, the Ideneth are doomed to extinction. Well, so there we have them. So as you can see, this is the stat block there for the archetype. The Caradon Overlords. Then we got the Stormcast Eternals. When a mortal is reforged as a Stormcast Eternal, they are pledged to a Storm host. These warrior fellowships have their own unique traditions, often drawing souls from the same tribe or realm or from those who share the same values. Above all, though, a Storm host is a military unit, and whilst cultural customs and vagaries of war can alter the structure of a Storm host, there are many common similarities throughout each. It seems as if each of these archetypes have almost like a subclass. The Sylvaneth, extraordinarily diverse in form and size, the Sylvaneth range from infant branchlings to merciless revenants and colossal tree lords. Interesting. So these are nature folk or possibly tree folk, really. And then we're going to get into talents and miracles. We have some new talents: ether efficiency, compelling music, counterattack, dirty fighting, duelist, mimic, old enemy, pain is power, read lips. Looks like we've got quite a lot of talents here. Thoughtful, unstoppable force. Then we have miracles, benediction, malediction, exorcism, prayer of ash, take their measure, forge masters, endurance, bolts of inspiration, examine the arcane. Oh, now we move into some new spells. Buoyancy, shackle, slip the snare, war cry. So we have these broken down by type, or I think it's the schools. So gold spells as an example: Breach the Unknown, Iron Maiden. Gray spells: Blind Spot, Mind Razor. The deeps: A Chill Mist Rises, Tidal Surge, Entomb, Living Fissure. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. So we have new weapons and adventuring gear. Bracers of Ember Iron, Black Pearl. These incredibly rare black pearls can only be found in the deepest, darkest parts of the mortal realm's oceans. An enterprising Ironweld engineer created a suit of heavy gear, which allows would-be pearl divers to descend to the depths of the ocean floor while still allowing them to breathe. So all different sorts of equipment here. And then it's like we've got the downtime. So between adventures, the mortal realms are a dangerous place with little time for rest. Letting your guard down is usually a good way to wind up dead, both within and beyond the walls of the cities of Sigmar. However, there are rare instances where the Soulbound and their allies have a moment to breathe. These moments are fleeting and should be put to good use. You got different endeavors like a grand feast, decorate your armor, brawling, grieve, infiltrate, negotiate, perform. And then we have allies and contacts. So it appears we've got some new NPCs. Or I should say these are some NPC types. So we've got Devoted of Sigmar, Free Guard Captain, Unlikely Ally. And then we have our appendices here with Loyal Companions. So those were some animal companions. Then we have the Binding, and we get into some pre-generated characters. I'll take a stab that they are for each of the new archetypes. Looks like it. And that is going to be it. That's going to wrap up our look inside Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Champions of Order from Cubicle 7 Games. Of course, Sammy will have a review of Champions of Order in the not too distant future. So stay tuned for that. All right, that is it for this time out. If you liked the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Be sure to join me tomorrow as I will have another first look as the Warhammer Roleplay Week rocks on. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you very much for watching. And until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you out there get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.